how's it going, everyone? Uh, you're probably asking why I have this hat on or where I get this hat from. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even work at Starbucks. But today, guys, we are doing a three-part, I guess, series for this October or late October or Halloween week. Anyways, um, it's Halloween week. And so that means you're gonna get three uploads back to back days until Halloween, and then we hit November, and then we just go from there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the September videos. Pretty bland, pretty awesome, pretty, I don't know. Up to you guys. Um, but now we're at the end of November. We're at the end of October, and today we're going to go over Halloween 2018. This is not a movie review, not a movie reaction. It's more like this is still hold up terms of at the time being released to the time being now, and if it's still good, or was it really that good when it first come out. I'm gonna break all that down in this video for you guys. So to start off with this video, we gotta talk about the entire movie as a whole. The entire movie, plot or synopsis, whatever you want to fucking call it. I'm gonna break it down for you guys because I did take notes, and yeah, you guys gonna either love or hate this series. And then at the end, we're gonna break it down, or not break it down. I mean, we're gonna do some pros and cons, see what I liked, see what I didn't like about the movie, and the reason behind it. Okay, further ado, let's do it. First, we started off with the synopsis. So basically, in the beginning of the movie, we open with the podcasters, interviewers, what you want to call it, entering the facility of Smith Grove Penitentiary, where Michael Myers is currently held in under Dr. Sartain. And within this opening scene, Dr. Sartain is also talking to his one of the, like, couple of the patients in it. He does reference Loomis in a way where obviously Donald Pleasance is obviously dead for this movie, which sucks. But we do got a reference to him, which is kind of cool. He does give a fair warning to the podcasters, interviewers. We will later know their names. But yeah, we will get to that, and he basically tells them about the why there's like stickers around every other patient there. Is because not to go over that line, because it's bad, not good. And so we first find out that the guy who is interviewing him or trying to get information is called Aaron. And these podcasters are obviously foreigners. They're not really in, like, not American or British, I believe. And he takes out the mask in the out of his bag. For some reason, he has the mask. But then when this happens, he starts say something to Michael, which is like, obviously he's already have his back turned to him. He does peek over a little bit, but then everyone else in the penitentiary just goes kind of like nuts, kind of go like psychotic in a way, because everyone's like reacting differently, and they're like, we're like, what the fuck is this opening? And then boom, we get a title card, and basically it's basically the title card is basically just the pumpkin that's already rotten go backwards, so like it goes back to how it was before. We obviously see the iconic Michael Myers cut out of it. And then it cuts to the podcasters going to Lori's house. by bribing her $3,000. Don't know where his money came from, but he had $3,000 and gave it to her. Well, they asked this particular question about Lori, about the past, about 1978, and one of the questions got a bit personal to her, and then she asked him to leave, and then they actually left, giving her the money and shit. And then it makes this cool transition in meeting the new Strode family, where we have Ray, Karen, and Allison. Um, this obviously has somewhat of a Rob Zombie kind of family feel, because in that remake it was more like slutty, nasty kind of thing going around. Uh, like out of pocket family. This one's kind of still the same thing, but kind of more sweeter in a way. And then we meet their friend group from. So now we now follow Allison and her friend group. Basically, how we followed with Lori's friend group in '78. Well, now we have following her in 2018. Um, which revolves Vicky and Dave, which is her boyfriend, kind of. Uh, and then it goes to school. They all walking to school. They do talk about Laurie's past and Michael's past, saying if we do, they do reference a line that happens in the franchise in a different timeline where Laurie is connected to Michael Myers as siblings, but in this universe they're not. But they do reference that, and they just make it as there's a rumor going on, not really true. Then we go to school where Allison is now in her locker getting some stuff, and then she closes it, and then we have her boyfriend Cameron scared the living shit out of her for some reason. And then we have his best friend, or their mutual friend, Oscar, just cock blocking the situation because they're already like making out, and he just like comes out of nowhere. And then they cut to Allison into her classroom, remodeling or remaking the same ideal of what Laurie looked out the window from her high school. Instead of this time being Michael Myers, it's actually Laurie. And then it cuts to her going outside with Laurie. Laurie's giving her the $3,000 that she got from the podcasters, and Allison doesn't want to take it, but she invested in college eventually. And then it goes to like a kind of a good, like a awesome montage of Laurie just at the gun range at her backyard, like just going at it. She drives to Miss Groves where she sees Michael getting transported onto the bus. And then what happens is that she now appears into their like dinner, in their dinner with Cameron, because it's the first time that Cameron's meeting the parents and stuff. And she has to have a whole meltdown, a whole meltdown about, and she talks about Michael, how she saw him, that's, and then Michael escapes. We should have saw this coming. Michael escapes, and then there's a father and son like trip going on here, and then it's like this like hunting trip where like the kid does appreciate his dad taking him to hunt with him, have the company and all, but he doesn't want to hunt this particular day. And he kind of wants to do dance instead, and his dad doesn't buy the whole dance thing. Like, he doesn't see like the son's committed or anything, but he is. But then they still stumble upon all the patients like outside the school, like the bus, and they're like trying to investigate the hell out of it. They just investigate the school bus. The kid gets shit scared by Dr. Sartain. He comes up saying like don't shoot, but he gets end up getting shot because reaction. The kid goes back into the car where Michael literally head bashes his head through the car door. Um, sure. And then it turns, and then Hawkins, which is the officer in this movie, investigates the entire site, and then he does end up finding the dad that was mentioned earlier with the kid, but also finding Dr. Sartain alive. And then it does a cut, and it's actually finally Halloween day, October 31st. We have the podcasters visiting the cemetery where Judith Myers is held underground, and they're reciting how she died in 78. And then this particular black lady, we won't stumble upon her until the next movie, but keep in mind she's pretty interesting. She looks upon on a different direction, and then basically she stumbles seeing Michael at broad daylight, just in his white gown, no mask and anything, and she's kind of like, "What the hell?" And then we visit Hawkins is making sure that Dr. Sartain is being held like positively in the hospital, and like the crew chief or the whatever his like occupation is as the in the sheriff's department, um he well Hawkins tells him about the lingo and stuff about what happened in 78 about Michael Myers and stuff, but he doesn't really buy it though. He doesn't really buy it. Oh, what, we're gonna cancel the Halloween party? No, it's not a big of a deal. Anyways, so then the podcasters stop at a gas station, and one of them has to go to the bathroom, right? Which I would never do, by the way. Don't ever go to a gas station bathroom. What's good with you? Just hold it in. Uh, then Michael also goes to the bathroom. Um, and then Aaron stops pumping the gas, tries to go pay for it at the counter, but he does stumble upon the clerk running that counter dead with the awesome jaw, like stretch, and the mechanic that was working in in that room as well. And then Michael drops the teeth from that clerk onto the lady podcaster's like stall, and she starts to scream about it, and we find out that her name is uh Dana, and then Aaron finds him. Well, he finds him and then whacks him. I forgot I think with a pipe or something like that. But then immediately gets slammed. Like Michael takes him, basically just slams him against the wall. Just keep bah bah. Even on the stalls that Dana's on, and she's trying to escape him, but then she eventually gets choked out by Michael, which is ending her life. And Aaron's just he's fucked. Like his face is just smashed. And then Michael goes back outside, um, and retrieves the mask from the trunk of their car. I forgot to leave this out. Michael's already wearing the mechanic outfit, because when Aaron finds the mechanic, he's already like stripped down naked. He's on his underwear, so they already know that Michael's already wearing his jumpsuit. Um, and then Lori becomes super overprotective at this point. Um, she starts basically preparing for her fight with him in her house, and then she goes to Karen's house, and then she tests them on their security, which Karen does end up failing because Michael Myers ain't coming, right? Karen doesn't like this, so then she treats her mom, or Lori, uh, with such, uh, with such like ease. Like she just slams the door on her, like get the hell out of my house. You know, it's like get out of here. Which makes another epic transition, by the way. As soon as the door slams, it's Officer Hawkins opening the door of the stalls in the bathroom in the gas station. And then we have the scene where Michael is now. At this point it's already Halloween night, and there's a lot of kids trick or treating, and there's these two kids that bumped into him, and it was like, "I'm sorry, Mister." And then it has the iconic theme playing, and then we get a one-shot take of Michael going to this like little shack garage to get a hammer, beats the woman that's making like I think a sandwich in the house, and then he goes to the other house, kills another person with a shirt. As soon as she turns the blinds turned, he kills her. He leaves the baby alone because Michael doesn't kill infants apparently, but he kills kids. And we see prior to the second killing, we see this nurse and this doctor cosplay couple. Um, they'll come back again in the second movie. Just FYI, we'll keep more in touch with them. So then what happens is we cut to the Halloween party at school where Cameron and Allison is cosplaying as Bonnie and Clyde, but the opposite gender role. Well, her friend Vicky babysits this kid named Julian, which is probably the only funny character kid in this movie, and probably the only best character in this movie by a long shot. Until we meet the second, at least it's the next movie, at least. But they have the greatest chemistry you could ever ask for from a movie. These two are just they fit so good. So then Vicky tells Allison to come over with Cameron after the party to hang out with stuff, and Dave will be there, whatever. Using this like a safe word because of Julian, right? But he knows they're like smoking, right? After the phone call, Allison finds Cameron cheating on her with smooching with this amazing looking Catwoman. Holy shit, he fumbled. Anyways, Dave arrives scaring Vicky, and then he mentions his tattoo, which is like the same day, October 31st, 2018, and then Vicky's like, "Oh, well, so dry, fuck you, whatever." They get freaky on the couch, just start kissing, making over. Julian interrupts them and then saying like there's something going on in this room. Vicky investigates, scaring him a little bit, telling him it's okay. And then Vicky tries to close the closet door because Julian asked her to do that. But then Michael bashes in, killing Vicky. Julian gets the fuck out of there. He tells Dave like don't go up there, but Dave is hearing Vicky struggle, and then Dave to the rescue, right? We don't see Dave dying until Hawkins arrive. Hawkins investigates, and how Dave dies is crazy. Dave we find dying on the wall with the knife going through his torso. how we get an homage kind of how Bob died in the first movie in '78. Pretty cool. Um, so then we also find okay. So then we find Vicky in like this ghost costume again, referring to Bob in this first movie. And then Sartain confronts Lori, uh, and then she calls him the new Loomis. Another reference to Dahl and Pleasance. Can't get enough. And then Oscar now is accompanying Allison at this point in the movie, and he is wasted. He does hit on her after a lot of flirting back and forth. Oh, not just him, just flirting, trying to flirt with her, but it just backfires. He does try to kiss her, but Allison like rejects him, like. And so then he mistakes Michael Myers to be the owner of the house they're already trespassing because he told her that he has a shortcut. But it turns out that it's Michael Myers, and so then Oscar pleads for help from Allison, was like only like a block away, but he dies and gets basically his head goes through the gate that the house has, the front gate, and his jaw, or is like his bottom, like right here, the spike just goes up his mouth, and it's kind of cool but also gruesome. While this is happening, Laurie's already Allison's house with Karen and Ray. Tell him like get the fuck out, he's here and stuff. Go to my house, it's a lot safer. And the cops are like backing this up a little bit. They try to call Allison, but her phone is in a bowl of cheese that Cameron threw in because he got upset too. So then Allison finds Oscar dead, and then we have the sickest score ever by John Carpenter himself, with this beautiful riff. It's amazing. She screams, and then she stumbles upon Hawkins. Hawkins takes her in and try to transfer her to Laurie's house with Dr. Sartain in the back. He runs over Michael, by the way. He runs over Michael with no hesitation. Dr. Sartain, he checks out with Dr. Sartain if Michael is dead. And then Dr. Sartain literally, like, he stabs him in the neck multiple times. And we see Hawkins just bleeding out from that neck wound. And then so the Dr. Sartain picks up the mask, scares Allison. It's the most weirdest like thing like ever. Like it's the most weirdest thing. He looks so goofy. But he puts Michael next to Allison, and then Allison tricks him, saying that he spoke to her, saying, but like she's like asking him to stop the vehicle, to tell him, and like she tricks him, and then Allison escapes, and then Michael like basically he gets conscious again. And he kills off Sartain by crushing his head, which is crazy gory, but cool though at the same time. And so then, Laurie prepares for her battle, and then Allison is just wandering in the woods, looking for the house, I guess. We do see we cut to Ray finding the 2 dead cops we found like scouting or surrounding the area. They both die. One of them turned into a head on lantern, and the other one died by strangulation. Or no, he dies of strangulation. The other cop dies. Uh, I forgot. So then they hear it, Lori and Karen, but they don't investigate. Um, and then we now get the start of Michael and Lori's showdown or fight, if you want to say. Lori becomes aware now, so then she starts securing every room by locking it up after she checks it. So then obviously there's no, you know. And then while this is happening, Allison stumbles on her gun range where she's like terrified of all these dummies that she shot up earlier in the movie. She screams about that. Um, then Lori finds Ray in the closet. So that means Ray got put into the closet, and then that's when she finds him dead. And then Michael attacks her, and then throws her off the window, like she did in the 78. Michael looks back, hears a noise, looks forward, looks out the window, and Lori's not there anymore. She did the old Michael Myers trick back in 78. Allison finds Karen in the basement, which is like a secret passageway from the table that they're in, above them in the dining room. Michael does find the secret passage. He just moves the table. And then Karen tricks him as well because for the bait, obviously she pleads that she can't do it. She's weak, all of that. So Michael falls for it, and then he shows himself to her, and then Lori shoots him, and then Karen shoots him. Lori like backstabs him, and then or pushes him into the basement, and then everyone gets up. But Karen gets caught up because Michael is not holding her down, and then Allison takes the knife that Lori used and then stabs Michael's hand a bunch of times. By the way, when they first fight, Lori and Michael, Lori shoots the fuck out of his fingers, like Jesus Christ, with a shotgun. I forgot that little detail out of there, but after that, we find out that the basement that she been keeping, or Lori's been gatekeeping, was an actual trick, like a trap room, which does light up when she does throw a flare down it with all the gas leaking. So then we get this awesome cinematography, like explosion, fiery explosion. They get the fuck out of there, and they try to hitchhike from this pickup truck, and that's where the movie ends. Well, that was a synopsis. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys are waiting for my, I guess, review. But my review is just pros and cons about this movie, and if it does still hold up, or if it's still good. Okay. Now, this is the part where it gets a bit controversial, alright? But I have my reasonings, okay? I will start with the pros because the cons are very controversial. Okay, the pros. It does make the story more interesting in this aspect, alright? 30 years later, same thing happens again, because we do have a new family, we do have new characters to follow. It just makes a better approach, I guess. It pays a lot of respect in the 78 movie. It does do a lot of like great cinematography, which I do love. It's amazing at that point. Um, it does references a lot of the Halloween of Halloween, but like also the other movies, which I do like. 'Cause we do have a Season of Witch Mask going on in this movie. We do have some similar aspect to Family Mansion, Rob's from Zombie, and all of that. So it's not really taken from one movie already, but also expanding on also expanding that there's other universes, movies that are surrounding Halloween or Mike Myers. This new Strode family is quite good at what they're doing, which is manipulating people, and we see this with Alice, and we see this with Karen. Guess where Allison got that from? Karen. They do trick for their advantages, and they do win at the end of the day. And this does make it a good, productive storyline after 30 years from the first incident, which is quite a long time. And it does feel like a good reboost in the series, the franchise at this point. Because we haven't got, what's this, Rob Zombie? I forgot what that came out, but I think it was 2009 or so. We got that second movie in it. We didn't get anything after that, which sucked for like at least a decade, and this movie came out and then live up to expectations. Which makes me go to my cons. This gets controversial. My cons, or the cons of this movie, in my opinion, this is a shot-for-shot remake of Halloween 1978. You cannot tell me otherwise. It has followed the same blueprints, the same formula, the same way, amount of kill wise too, the same way, shot for shot. It's just new characters that follows the same damn story that from the first one, or expands on that. Okay, you cannot argue with me. It's not a shot for shot remake. It's plain old lazy. At the end of the day, it's written pretty much the same way. So with this movie being the initial sequel from 78, but being the first movie of a trilogy, it doesn't feel like a sequel from 78. Yes, you do have the 30-year aspect of it, We do see how Laurie progresses in her life, how she became much aware in this movie. But it doesn't feel like a sequel. It just feels like 1978 Halloween all over again. But the only difference is that there's literally the new characters to do the same thing, and have Laurie and Michael just go older. It's basically the same thing. That's pretty much what I gotta say, really. That's for the cons. It feels like that way. I feel like I watched 1978 all over again, but modern, and with old recurring characters and new characters in the line. That's the only difference I see. But I'm getting repetitive now. But I gotta make a point. Which brings me to my conclusion of this entire video, which is basically what all you've been waiting for already. Does this movie still hold up? I'm gonna answer that question first. The movie does still hold up as its own. Technically speaking, you don't have to watch the 1978 movie in regards to this movie, because it's basically the same kind of blueprint and kind of the same idea around it. So it's like you're like that. So you could really start off with this movie, technically speaking, because it does follow that story a little bit, but not a lot, to make it as a sequel as it was initially supposed to represent as. Now, is it good? Now? And the short answer is yes. It does still hold up. It's still good till this day. Was it good at the time? It is okay. it's a pretty solid movie. But even though on my doubts, it's still kind of up there in my listing of ranks of each Halloween movie. Um, but but tomorrow we'll talk about Halloween Kills, and if that movie still holds up, or if that was even more mediocre at best. And then Halloween Day, we will talk about Halloween Ends and see, was it really that bad? Gotta wait to you gotta stay tuned for that video. You may hate me or like me in that video, but that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit different what I typically do on this channel, but I'm getting into new ideas, and this is a pretty new idea to me. So then, it was kind of fun analyzing all this sacred things. But I'm not this a reviewer or a critic or anything. I'm just a fan going into this, and I'm just loving what I see. Um, that's pretty much it. So, there you guys. Take care.